YouTube a video of the Sankara Rao, and I believe you would have gone through those. After the usage of broadcasting and narrowcasting, I will be showing you the events. There are two types of events, instance and static events. We will be defining together what is event and why it is required. Then we will see that what is the event with parameter. If we want to use the parameter inside the event, how we can use so. And we will be also looking into if you want to use the event, then you must have to register the event with the instance. Okay, so you can register a single object or you can register the multiple object with an event. That also we are going to see in a practical mode. And if you want to register the if you want to deregister the event, then for that we are having some syntax that also we are going to use. So registration and deregistration both we'll be looking into that. Okay, so once we'll go into the practical mode, it will make more sense. But before going ahead, let's have a quick recap what we have done in our last class. In last class, we have seen how to use the cleanup block, right? Okay, and also uh, we have seen about the resumable exception, right? We have seen how to use the resumable exception inside the method and outside the method. In order to use outside the method, we have to take care of some steps. Inside the parameter, we have to use the raising, resumable, and the exception name, right? And whenever you are raising the exception, you must have to include the resumable exception keyword, right? And when you are catching, then at that point of time, you have to use catch before unwind. And then of course here, if it's returning as it's a resumable exception, just to resume it. So these are some important steps we have to follow in case of a resumable exception. Please go through the video if it is not clear. Then we have seen about the narrow casting and wide casting. We understood what is the narrow casting. Narrow casting is nothing but from going wider perspective to narrower perspective. So whenever you are assigning the object of subclass to the reference or object of a superclass, then it is known as the narrow casting. And wide casting, it is just opposite of a narrow casting. For doing the wide casting, we have a prerequisite that it must be narrow casted first, then only it is possible to have the wide casting. Otherwise, it will give the runtime error. At compile time, it will not give you any error, but at runtime, CX move cast error exception will occur, right? So some quick question for you we are having over here. What is the different type of casting in object-oriented programming in terms of inheritance? So narrowing cast and wide cast, right? What is narrowing cast? We have seen. And then what is widening cast? This also we have seen, correct? And which exception can occur while doing the widening cast if it is not a narrowed cast already? CX psi move cast error, right? So hope you got a quick revision now, and let's go and start the today's session usage of wide casting and narrow casting. So for this, I'm going to take the example of factory design pattern as discussed yesterday. So however, factory design pattern is planned in the further chapter, but today itself we are going to cover it so that quickly we'll be able to relate how we can use the wide casting and narrow casting. So go to the system now and let me open the SAP logon. First I will set the context so it will be easy for you to understand what I'm going to do. So what actually I will be doing in the factory design pattern. So factory design pattern basically we use to produce the object, okay, to produce the object. So for example, let's suppose if you have many other objects, right? So you are creating one material application, okay, and there you are having let's suppose you are having one class called ZCL underscore material. Another class you are having, you know, another class you are having ZCL underscore. So different classes we are having ZCL underscore material underscore raw material. So ZCL underscore material underscore HALB. So different types of classes we are going to create to treat the different behavior of a different material type. Very much valid use case, right? Raw material, semi-finished, then finished. And similarly, you can have multiple different types of classes in order to treat different kinds of material. So now you are writing a program, right? Now you are writing a program. So in that report, what actually we're trying to do that, let's suppose you have the program ZOO ABAP factory DP demo. Here you have a parameters. In these parameters, you are going to take the material type from outside, okay? And based upon the material type, you are going to create the object of that particular class, right? You can see that three different class we are having. So if someone is passing from selection screen, the ROH, then we are supposed to instantiate the object of this particular class. If someone is passing the HALB from selection screen, then we have to instantiate the object of this particular class. So what basically I'm trying to tell you over here, based upon the requirement, we have to instantiate the class and we have to take the necessary action, right? Now assume, right? Let's go into the logon pad, okay, and go to /n sc38 ZOO ABAP, and we have created some program over here. The same pattern we will follow. ZOO ABAP demo, something like how we are following the pattern demo. Yeah, like this we are doing. So today is 9th, and for this FD demo. So basically this is use case of wide casting and narrowing casting I want to show you. Okay. Factory design pattern using narrowing cast and widening cast. Executable program, click on this save button, save in a transport request, and now let's come over here, and what we want to do it over here based upon the material type. Okay, so if p underscore m type equals to what? ROH, right? So in this case, we are going to create the reference of data, and geo underscore mat underscore ROH type ref to ZCL underscore mat underscore ROH. So this class we have to create first. Either you clear the local class or global class, you have to create this one. Similarly, you will be having the else if, right? And for this, if it is the FEIT, right? And similarly, once again, if you are having the HALB, right? So maybe this I will put it over here, right? Fine. So this is what I have just created, a simple template. You just assume if you have lot of material type, right? If you have ROH, HALB, FEIT, some another material type, we can have a number of material types. And based upon the different material types, if you have to create a different object, then this code is going to be so longer, right? So that's where the factory design pattern comes into the picture. So first we will understand about the factory and then we will go about the design pattern. Okay. So what actually we will do, we'll create one class, and there in that class we will create the object. Okay. And that object we will get it over here and we will use it, so that we don't have to write these many codes. Okay. Otherwise what we will be doing, we'll have to, you know, we have to write it all this code over here, and readability of the code will be impacted, right? So for this purpose, we will be creating a one separate class, and let me first put it HLB, and then again you can see that like this we'll have to do everywhere, correct? And here FEIT, here also FEIT, and here also FEIT. And now, so generally what I want to do, I want to create the material, right? So the corresponding method you are going to, you know, uh, trigger. So geo underscore mat underscore FEIT, and here I want to create this material, right? So of course we don't have this class created. So what we will do, let's quickly create this class. So slash so AC24, globally I'm going to create, locally also we can create, anything is fine. So come over here and create this class. So raw material handling class, and just save this one, save this one, save this one. And in this class, let's have a quickly method create material, right? uh, Label is instance and public, and description if you want you can give some. So one is create material, we can have the get material, different functionality we can put it. And for creating the material, you can call the BAPI over here, right? So write call BAPI to create the, so all those things whatever you we generally do, first we prepare the parameter for BAPI and then we create the material. So call BAPI to create the material. BAPI material save replica, BAPI material save data, anything, right? Call BAPI to create the material. And some color I will be giving over here, maybe 5. So in this particular method, I will be, writing the logic. So raw material, copy this one, just save it, check the syntax and activate this one. Just go back, activate here also, activate this. And now I'm going to quickly copy this one and ZCL underscore mat underscore FEIT, another for FEIT. Okay, this is the finished material, and then the semi-finished I will quickly create it. Go into the change mode, come over here, finished finished material handling, right? And here inside this create material, again for finishing the validation and all you will have to perform. You can create one another method to perform the validation, right? So focus on the concept is most important. Other thing, you are already expert, right? Check the syntax, activate this one, activate this, and just go back. And one more, ZCL underscore ZCL underscore MAT underscore HLB. So this is the semi-finished, right? Go here, semi-finished material handling. Go to the method, and here again we are going to change the description, semi-finished. So you can see that we have created the 3 classes, right? 3 classes I have created over here. And now based upon the requirement over here, check the syntax. Now there is no problem because already now class I have created. And now this is how I'm going to write it. GO underscore mat underscore HLB, and for this create a material. Similarly, GO underscore mat underscore ROH, create material. PTPin to check the syntax and activate this one, right? And now run this. So I'm passing this ROH, and you can see that call BAPI to create the ROH material, right? And if you pass the FEIT, it will tell call BAPI to create the finished material. And you will pass the HALB, then it will call BAPI to create the semi-finished material. So it's working perfectly fine, right? If you want to show me in debugger, I will show you quickly. Here, FERT, I'm just passing. Execute this one. Give ROH, okay, because debugger I have put it over there, ROH. So for ROH, the control has come over here, you can see that, and it's creating the object is now created because 27, it's not initial, that means object is created. Now press F5, the create material, the control is coming over here, and it's creating the material, and it's printing it over here because the write statement I have written in the class method, right? And that is what it's printing. What basically I'm trying to tell you over here, that when you have the number of classes lot many, writing like this will not make sense more. It will, let's suppose if you have 100 classes, will you write like this? No, this is not a good programming practice. So that's where the factory class comes into picture. So in that class, what we will do, we'll create, go to SC24, and we'll create one factory class. So material factory, I'm having the name of the class as a material factory. Click on this create button, and here material factory. So this factory class will produce the required object of the class. That's it. Click on this save button. Okay. And okay, so whatever the code you are writing it over here, and here generally in the factory class we keep the method called factory. Okay. And here instance and public. You can have different method also, but this is what the people follow, or SAP follow the convention. Okay. And all this code what you have over here, you have to put it inside this factory method, right? Pretty printer, and you can see that. But here you should have a parameter, right? So let me quickly create one parameter over here. Go to the signature, and okay, just save it, go back and go to the parameter, and here you'll have to define a parameter. So am underscore mtart, here importing parameter, and then mtart. Save it, go to the method once again, and double click and im underscore m type. Copy this one, and wherever the p underscore m type you are having, just replace with im underscore m type, right? Okay. And what it will do, that it will create, it will give you the instance of that particular, you know. So this, generally in factory class we don't write the creation part, you know, just it will return you the object, just it will return you the object, right? So you got this object, you got this object, you got this object. Now you want to have this object inside the program. So how you will get back? You should have one export parameter also in order to get the object. So ex underscore for material ROH exporting parameter, right? And here three we are having, correct? One is ZCL mat ROH. So ZCL underscore ROH, and here the typing method, what it will be, type ref2, because I'm taking the reference of class, right? So exporting parameter, and similarly ex underscore mat underscore HALB exporting parameter type ref2 and ZCL underscore mat underscore HALB. If you face anywhere difficulty, please do let me know. This is very important concept. Okay. FERT EXP and type ref2 ZCL underscore. Understand step by step. Okay. This is just, we are in beginning. It is, I'm not showing at this point of time wide casting and narrow casting. Just I'm trying to set the context so that you will be able to understand better. Okay. So understand what I'm doing. I'm creating three parameter because three different types of what object I require, right? So to get those object, I should have a parameter, correct? So go to the methods, double click over here, and when you are creating the object, this raw object, you will require it over here, geo underscore mat underscore ROH, right? And here this is HALB equals to geo underscore mat underscore HALB, and here FERT equals to geo underscore mat underscore FERT. So what I'm doing over here, you can see that three different parameter we have. So based upon the material type, I'm creating the object and returning back. So here, if you write even 1,000 lines of code, there is no problem because it is at separate place. A separate place. It is not going to have any impact on your program. So now if you see that your program is going to be very small, and same functionality you will be able to achieve. So let me copy this one and paste it. So here, this is now not required, correct? This is now not required. What you will have to do simply, so all these things is basically not required. What you will have to do, you have to create the object of your factory class, ZCL mat factory. So create one object, data geo underscore factory equals to new ZCL underscore mat factory, right? Mat factory, full stop. And geo underscore factory is going to, here you are going to just pass m underscore m type, and based upon your m type, it's going to return the object, right? So, or simply, because this is your method, you can use the new syntax, right? So geo underscore mat underscore roh and data underscore geo underscore mat underscore halb and here data. So this is one wonderful, benefit of this method. In function model, you will not be able to use inline declaration like this. Here you will be able to use. So we check the syntax, there is no problem, right? And now you can see geomat roh, geomat HLB, you are going to get the, based upon your requirement, you are going to get what? You are going to get the object, and that object you can use for the purpose of your requirement. So what? Geo underscore mat underscore roh, you can use the create material, control D, and here you have a FEIT or HLB, and here you can have the FEIT, right? So here again, you will have to write some piece of code. Let me copy from here. Otherwise, it will go into dump, basically. It's already there. I can reuse from there, control V, and uncomment this one. So this piece just remove, this piece also you remove, this piece also you remove. So at least the creation part of the object we are able to remove, right? Creation part of the object. Here you can see that I was referring first and then I was creating. I was creating the reference and then I was creating. So these two statement you are able to now, you are now able to remove that. And due to that, you can see that number of quotes has been little less. So you can assume that if you have large number of objects, this code would have been so many. But with the help of this factory, we are able to achieve this, right? But the problem, let me first show you its output. Okay, activate this one, and just run this one and roh. Okay, so roh I'm passing, and in factory method I'm passing this m dot equal to roh is the same thing. It's going to give me this object. We are creating this object, we are getting it back it over here in geomat roh, right? And you can see that's the same object we are getting. This will be initial, right? Because nothing has happened, right? So if the material type is this, it's going to create this material. Hope you are able to understand. Just write here in the chat box if you are able to understand what I am doing over here, right? Yes, Oscar, we can use the case statement, right? That will be better to use the case statement instead of I'm doing if and else if. Better than that, case would have been better. Okay, fine. Now, thank you, Santosh. So now till here it's clear, right? You got the point. Now what actually I'm trying to tell that for HLB also it will do the same thing, for FERT also. So we are able to achieve the same thing with the help of this factory stuff. Now, but the problem over here, you can see that so many export parameter. Now you will have to focus because I'm going towards now the narrow casting and wide casting concept. Okay, so many parameters. Are you finding this good, this parameter? If you have some, let's suppose the 50 class, 50 parameters will have to, you know, define it over here. Again, the 50 times here also, you will have to either use case or if or if else if a statement like this will have to use. Will it take, again, it will go so long, right? And that's where the narrow casting and wide casting will come into picture. How to use it over here? Here, in order to use the narrow casting and wide casting, you have to use the inheritance first. But where you will use the inheritance? Let's go into the PPT. First, I will make you understand the design and then I will come and show you. So here, if you have observed, I have the common method what? Create material. I have the common method called create material for all this, right? For this also, I have used the common method called create material. For this also I have used the common method called create material, and for this also I have used a common method called create material. now now this create material we would have used inside a interface if underscore, you know, material, if underscore material uh, handling, something like that. Okay, material handling. So whatever method you have, that method you can put inside the interface. Very important step. If you understand this step, then it will be very easy. So here, this create material is part of this if underscore material handling interface, and this interface I'm going to use inside this particular class. So how it will look like? It will look like this particular interface is going to be inherited by these three classes, right? Inherited means here, so this is this interface I'm going to use. So when we use the interface, we tell that we are inheriting the interface basically. Okay. So, and this time you will realize how small our code is going to be. Okay. So let's go and quickly create the if underscore material handling slash AC24 ZIF underscore material handling. Click on this create button. Here material handling, and click on this save button. Click on this OK button. And the method was what? Whatever the common method you have to put it over here. Public instance. Okay. Here you won't be able to set public and all those things in interface. Just save it. And this is the interface. So you will not be able to write any code inside this method. Parameter we can define. So parameter just I'm defining because material type I have to get it. And here importing parameter, and here we have the mtag. Press enter and just save it, check the syntax, activate this one. That's it. Copy this interface and go to the class. So we have created the class over here, right? Inside this class we have three different classes. So let's start with the uh, uh, ROH class, raw material class. Okay, so raw material class, go into the change mode, go to the interface and give that interface which I have created. So you can see that instead of directly using this method, and this method now I will remove. Okay, instead of using this method directly, I'm using the interface method, and that's where I will be leveraging the benefit of casting. Okay, because casting you will not be able to use without any inheritance. Directly you will not be able to cast any object to another object. You must have to have the what? Inheritance. So you can see that I'm inheriting this particular interface over here and this method. So now I will be able to cast to the reference of interface of the object of this class. I will show you. Okay. So create this material. This I will now remove. This method itself, I will remove it. So click on this and just it got removed. Now come over here and redefine your the same code. You can write it over here. I could have copied this code, but I missed to copy that code. Let me put it over here. Create material using the BAPI. So raw material, right? And color 5. So check the syntax now, and it is good. Activate this one. So you saw that what I am doing it over here, that just this stuff. I've written some piece of code to create the material. Here you could have done the same thing as we have done earlier, right? Activate this one. Okay, so ZCL underscore material underscore ROH. Here, this is the method I have defined, and the same stuff I'm going to do with the others as well, right? So go to another class, HALB, and go into the change mode, go to interface and give this interface over here. Come to these methods, copy the code of this, and I'll put this code here. Save it, just go back and remove this one. Okay, and activate this. And now again, what another method, another class we are having? We are having one more class, FEIT, right? So here also I'm going to do the same treatment. So go into the change mode and ZIF material handling. This is the method. I will come here, simply I will copy this code, just go back. So instead of directly using, I'm using the interface. Why I'm using the interface? I just told you that I want to make my code dynamic, and I want to make my code very simple, not like 100 lines of or 1000 lines of code for doing the same repeated stuff, right? So here, just go back and remove this one. Activate this, right? Now, three methods is three class with the this interface is now my ready. Now I'll go to the factory class. Inside this factory class, and what I will do that, go here, go to the parameter. Instead of having these parameters, we can delete all these parameters. I will delete later this parameter. Okay, I will have one common object. So ex underscore or generic object, we can say generic object. Here export parameter, type ref2, and what we are going to give the reference over here. Anyone, any guesses from your side? What I will be giving over here? Very good, Sandeep. Yeah, awesome, super. Here I'm going to give the reference of interface ZIF material and handling. This is what I'm going to give. So some spelling mistake is there. Let's go and check what is the name. ZIF material. Copy this, come here and paste it. Press enter. Now it's fine, right? And in this method, go to the source code once again, the method source code here. And now instead of populating the different object, what I'm going to do, I'm populating just this, so I'll just comment this, and comment this. And here, the common thing, the common object, just I'm populating. Okay, common object I'm populating. So see here. So once I will clean the code, you will see that how easy it is going to become. So the object I'm passing to the interface reference, right? See, this is the interface reference, correct? What is this? This is the class object, and this is the interface. This interface is inherited into this class object. So it is how we are going. We are going from wider perspective to narrower perspective, or narrower to wider perspective. See here. Here we are in this situation. This is interface, and this is different class object. So I'm assigning the object to the reference of this interface, assigning the object to the reference of this, assigning the object the reference to the, what is this? This is narrow casting or wide casting. Very good. This is narrow casting. This is narrow casting, right? This is narrow casting. So here I'm doing the narrow casting, right? And if you see that narrow casting, so just means the here number of parameter will be reduced. All these three will be deleted, not required now, right? Just this simple interface is going to help us to remove these three line of parameters. So if let's suppose if you have the 100 such object to be created, no, not required to have the 100 such parameters, right? So that's the benefit of using the interface, and this is what the narrow casting. Okay, so let me show you how we can use it. Activate this one, and I will show you in the debugging. Okay, so go to the report now, right? And in report now, the factor you are getting the importing parameter, and here, right? This is how you are getting. So instead of this, we are going to have that generic, parameter. Copy this and put it over here. This generic parameter equals to here you can again give one data keyword and geo underscore generic underscore obj, right? And with the help of this geo generic object, you can simply call generic underscore object and create material. So just I have clicked control and space, it is taking some time. Okay, so create material, just copy this and paste it over here, full stop, right? Check the syntax now, and some error is there. Let me copy it once again. Yeah, this will not work basically over here because this is not the object, right? But we are creating the reference. This should work. Let's see what's the problem. I think we'll have to activate first. It's already activated, right? Check the syntax. What it's telling, no value was passed to the mandatory parameter. Okay. So it's telling that we have to pass the value to the mandatory parameter im underscore mtart, right? Create material, protected or private. Oh, it looks okay. Something I'm doing wrong. Let me do one thing. Inside this factory, this is the reference, right? So this is the interface reference we are having. This is the reference variable. It looks good for me. And am underscore mtart here we are defining. This is also fine. So now what is this error? Actually it's telling no value was passed to the mandatory parameter. Okay, here actually it's telling that to pass the value. Fine. So here, so just I'm passing some value based upon the parameter. So this can be what? P underscore m type, right? So P underscore m type, just I'm passing, and check the syntax now. And now it looks good. Now just remove this, is not required now, correct? Check the syntax and you can see that it is now activated, right? So see, these many codes we were writing, now you have to write just this much simple code, right? And let us see if it is going to give you, and if you see that it will give you the same output as earlier. So just run this one, give the ROH over here, and just run this and see here. This im underscore mtart is ROH, right? So ROH is just creating the object, and here we are just creating, and it will call the which material, ROH1, consider this class it is calling, right? ROH class. So from the interface, we are calling the ROH material class, right? And again, if you are going to pass this FEIT, so if you just run it, what it will do, this particular factory come over here, and this is now FEIT we are having. So FEIT, it will come, it will create the object of this particular class ZCL material FEIT, created the object, and this object I'm getting into the reference of interface. So basically I'm doing the narrow casting over here, right? And if you see that exgen obj, this narrow casting, this narrow casted object, we are getting back again into my program here in this geogen object, right? And again, with the help of this, I'm calling this create material, right? So here I'm just creating this material, call BAPI to create the finished material, right? This parameter also, one parameter also is inside this. If you go in local, you can see that I'm underscore mtart and FEIT, the one which I'm passing from here, this parameter, this I can use for my own purpose over there, right? If you want. So what is basically over here, what I am doing over here, right? Here once again HALB, I will show you HALB. Just run this and go here, and it will create the object of HALB, right? And just in that interface we are getting. So see the power of interface. Power of this is power of interface. One single interface you are able to use in 100 multiple classes, right? And here that interface is able to call dynamically the different classes. This time it is calling HALB. First time it called ROH class. Second time it called FEIT class. Third time it is calling the HALB class based upon the input what you are giving it over here, right? Are you able to understand what I am trying to, do it over here? Good, very good, Vankat. So here, see, now this is what the power of narrowcasting. Now you will tell, let's suppose we have some more methods in the classes. Okay, so I might miss some of the query of yours. So at the end of the session, please feel free to ask, because while explaining the concept, I'm not able to see all the messages of yours. So please forgive me for that. At the end of this class, I will you can unmute yourself and you can ask. So let me first focus on the concept and explain you with my level based, and then fine. So here narrow casting we have seen, right? We have seen the narrow casting. Now what actually I'm trying to tell you, let's go to any of the class or all of the classes. First I am coming to the material FEIT class, and here you have some another method. Let's suppose some extra method you have, extra method, or here get material detail, right? Some method which is not part of the interface. Okay, so you will not put all the method inside the interface because some method will be specific to this particular class, right? Some method will be specific to, so some specific method I'm just writing a specific method to this particular interface. Okay, so FEIT a specific method, and here instance, and here public, and save it and check it and activate it. Here this is FEIT, just write it over here. This is FEIT based specific method. Color maybe some 5 or something like that. Pretty printer, and one new line I'm just giving activated, and it got activated, right? Activate this one. So similarly in another class you can have some their own specific method, right? So you might ask me the question that, okay, this factory class is fine, but in the report, if you want to access that particular specific method in case of FEIT, how will we do, right? So sometimes, so whatever the common method, that is fine, but if you want to access the specific method of a class, how to do? And that's where the concept of wide casting comes into picture, right? So if p underscore m type equals to FEIT, right, end f, and if you want to do that, what we will do over here? Any idea, any guesses, right? What I will do? I will do the wide casting over here. Wide casting. So wide casting, in wide casting, what we will do? We will pass the reference of interface which will contain the object of FEIT to the object of the class, right? So we'll have to first create a object. Okay, first we'll have to create the object. So because of this syntax, already object is created, this syntax which I'm using it over here, already object is created. Let me do one thing. I will first clean the code, then I will make you understand once again. Okay, so cleaning the code in the sense, these three things is now not required. I'm just commenting this one, and this also is not required now, right, due to the power of narrow casting, right? So say just a single, this is sufficient, and this is required because based upon the material type you have to get that, and activate this, got activated. Now I have commented this one, now it's fine. So instead of commenting, I'm just going to delete this. Okay, so activate now and got this also activated. See how neat and clean your code is looking here. No much parameter, nothing, just with a few parameters you are able to achieve a big complex requirement. Just assume if you have lot of classes are there, and if you see SAP standard class, many such example you will be able to see over there. Either it is a ALV example or any object oriented framework. If you take the from the SAP standard code, you will be able to find it over there. So just go and do some research over there. You will realize the power of this narrow casting and wide casting in the factory method. So narrow casting we have seen. I'm trying to show you the wide casting. Okay, so in case of this FEIT, first we'll have to create the object. So let's quickly create one object, because now I have deleted all those, right? New line declaration. So now your object need to be declared over here. So geo underscore FEIT equals to new ZCL underscore mat. It was this one, right? So I've created the object, and this, in this object, I'm going to pass the reference of that interface which we are getting for this full stop, right? Pretty printer. And what is this? Now can you tell me it is going to give me the error or how? Any idea? So see, Santosh is telling error. Yes, that is perfect. Check the syntax and you can see that it's the error, right? Why? Because here what I am doing, I'm passing the object of concrete class, I'm passing the object of inheriting class to the where sorry, I'm passing the interface reference to the object of this geo underscore FEIT. Vice versa is fine, because interface is already there inside the subclass, so vice versa is fine, but opposite is not fine. But we know that at runtime it is okay, right? So just at compile time I want to ignore this check, and for that purpose we have this operator as we have seen in last class. And now if you can see that, check the syntax, it is perfectly working fine. What actually it is doing, It's telling to the system ignore at the compile time. This particular check directly use at a runtime. This is what it is doing. And some specific method now, if you want to handle, you can handle from here. That uh, extra method, what it was, some extra method we have created, right? Mm, this one, FEIT specific method. So this we can call it over here. So how to call? Yesterday I have shown you how to call, right? You have to put into the single quotes. Directly you'll have to call like this and put the full stop. So extra method also now you are able to call it. So this is possible only with the help of wide casting. It's telling FEIT specific is unknown. Just remove this space and now check. Activate this one, activate. Put the breakpoint over here and press F8. Give this HLB or whatever you want. This is, but this is for FEIT only, right? For HALB again you will have to do the same stuff if you want to achieve the wide casting. Okay, but so there is no other way, but still there are a lot of work is reduced, right? If you observe, a lot of work is reduced, right? So here for it is for HALB. So for HALB it's just going to create the object, and you want to clear the material, that's fine, right? So for HELB it's working fine, right? And now you want to do for FEIT. In case of FEIT, you again have the two functionality you want to get achieved. One is for the extra method and another is for the common, right? So common we are getting for HELB, for FEIT, right? FEIT I have given in the selection screen, right? And here it will create the material for FEIT, right? And now again I'm pressing F6, and here for FEIT, see, it's going to do the white casting now. There will be no any dump or anything like that. You can see that now the white casting is done. Geo FEIT is having the ZCL underscore material, the complete, and at runtime it will call this particular method, right? So if you can see that this is FEIT based specific method, it is calling, and it's printing it over here. See, so both the functionality is called. So did you understand the power of narrow casting and wide casting? How actually we use? Many a time you would have seen this particular symbol. So most of the time it will be there in terms of, many times it will be just to ignore the syntax check, right? But many a times it will be there for the purpose of wide casting also. So when I tell the wide casting, that means from the narrower perspective to wider perspective, already narrow casting would have been done, then only it is possible to have the wide casting, otherwise it is not possible, right? So already here narrow casting is getting done in factory, and then I'm again widening cast to use the method, right? Very good. So hope you understood this concept. And now Mediconda is, instead of wide casting, also we can call a specific method using how will we able to do so? See, you, instead of let's suppose geo FEIT you are having, right? So directly if you are going to call this method geo underscore FEIT, correct? Geo underscore FEIT, but you will not be having the same reference as it is there in that particular method. It will be a separate instance, right? So if you want to use their variable, their attribute, their everything, you will not be able to use. You will be in this particular situation, yes, you will be of course able to directly call it, right? Here itself, it will, after this statement, it will not give you any error. Directly G underscore FE RT, and if you uh, so here you can see that for this ZCL underscore material underscore FEIT, if you are coming here and FEIT instance and public is there, right? So if you want to call, that's fine, you can do so, but again, like, you will face some challenges over there. You are getting my point, Medikunda? Ranga is having each that always accessing through interface object for wide casting. GeoFEIT type ref2 ZCL. Okay. So hope you understood this concept, what I am trying to tell it. So whenever you have to access in the previous concept context, the extra method you have to use the wide casting. Okay, you have to use the wide casting. There is no other way, right? There is no other way. This is what you have to do it. Okay, fine. So you got the point what I'm trying to tell, and just activate this one. This is what is known as the factory design pattern, right? Factory, and this is how we prepare. This is how we prepare the factory class. So if you have to prepare the factory class, the way I have done, you first have to create one common interface consisting all the common method. That common interface you have to put in all the classes, right? And that single interface you have to use inside the factory method. So here at this moment we are having these three. I have to remove this. I think already I have removed, but it is not, showing over here. This basically I have to, that method need to be refreshed. It is not refreshed at this moment, it looks like, because already I have deleted, right? So let me close this. Okay, so yeah, ZCL factory, and in these parameters you can see that now that method is not there, correct? And here that parameter is not there, SE38. So now also if we click here, that should not come. Yeah, that is now not coming, right? So using the, you have to use that interface as a reference in the export parameter, right? So in the factory design pattern, what is the first step? First step is that you have to put the common method in a interface. I will just write it down, this particular concept. So factory design pattern is completed today itself. Okay, in the later class we'll be covering some more design pattern like the singleton design pattern and all. So what is the first step? The first step is put all the common methods in a single interface. The second point, and create a factory class, create a factory class having at least one import parameter based upon which you will decide what kind of object you have to create, right? At least one import parameter. Or these things you can do, okay, no, in constructor that will be not possible because constructor will not having the exporting parameter, right? So how we will get the object, right? So create a factory class having at least one import parameter. Create a factory class with a factory method having at least one import parameter based on which you will instantiate the object and narrow cast that object to the interface, right? To the reference of interface. So this reference of interface will be your export parameter, right? In the method, as I have shown you, right? Narrowcast that object to the reference of interface, which is export parameter. The third point, once you get in the program, use the common method with a reference of interface. And if you want to use what? If you want to use the extra method, please widecast first and then use that extra method. Okay, so these are some important points. Okay, these are some important points. Is it clear till here, everyone? Okay, so I believe it's clear till here. And now let us see. So today I was supposed to cover the events also. I'm having some time, and let me try to cover. I will show you one simple example of the event. Okay, what is event? And then tomorrow in detail we are going to discuss about the event. Okay, so but before going to the event, if you have any question, you can unmute yourself. Okay, and you can ask the question. You can unmute yourself if you have any query regarding this narrow casting and wide casting. You can
Yeah,
unmute.
I have one small question.
Mm-hmm.
The parameter of that factory class,
Uh-huh.
can it be a range? You see, you are talking about, in here we have a parameter that select only one type of material.
Mm-hmm.
But if I would like to select all of them and make the kind of in a loop and get them all together, is it possible? If I have a range parameter, I think it's possible, but I don't know in this
Yeah, you can do,
factory.
like if you want to do in that way, you can do. But
Yeah,
again, this is the one which we have just discussed. This is what the essence of factory design pattern, the essence of narrow casting and wide casting. So on top of this, whatever you want to build, you can do. But the concept, hope you understood what I have tried to make you understand.
oh yeah, yeah. The
Yeah,
concept is very
yeah,
well clear, and thank you
right.
for
Yeah.
explaining it that way.
Yeah, so this is the essence. On top of that, whatever you want to do, you can do. It all your choice. But this is the essence of this narrow casting. You can see that
Yeah,
how well we were able to reduce the number of codes, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Here is the work is upfront
Right,
and the design, not in the
right,
code.
right,
Thank you.
right, right. Welcome. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay. What's your question, Sandeep? Actually, we can give like this, and
Pankaj,
then
this is Sandeep. Can you open
yeah,
the program?
yeah. Just a second. Yes, this is the program.
I'm just trying to understand what is the need of line 26. I'm 25. What is the need of creating the instance for this one? Can't we just give like type ref to the class name and then assign the
They're not
instance?
required. This is not required. We can simply create the reference. So this is not required. Directly we can give geo underscore FEIT type ref to what it was, ZCL underscore mat underscore FEIT, right? Yeah, like that also we can do, and it will give us the same result. Okay, so if you pass the FERT over here, just run this F5 and FERT creating the object and all, and again if you see it will work fine in the same way. Okay, it is. So anything is fine. Or sometimes what happens, we already create the object, so the same object we can use for that purpose. So either you assign to the reference or object, it is going to be same. Clear, Sandeep?
Yeah, yes, because my question is like, it's unnecessarily creating a memory, right? Since we are not using
Not
the
required, not required.
instance
But
directly, it's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, not required. Directly we can create the reference. Yeah, unnecessary in this at least situation, it was unnecessary created memory. But what I wanted to show that you can create the object. Let's suppose if you are using for different purposes already created object, right? And if you want to reuse the same, this is we can do. But again, depends on the scenario to scenario. Like, both ways possible. Fine.
Hello,
Any,
Pankaj.
huh, yeah, Pawan.
I was just trying to understand the concept of like widening cast which you used.
Mm-hmm.
So we could have directly called that effort specific method, right? So but we are using this widening cast and then calling the method. So what
Yeah,
is the
so say
difference here?
difference here, see the, let's when you will create the different object, that will allocate the different memory, right? You want to use the same object which you have created inside the what you have created inside the class, factory class. So if
Right.
you want to use the same object, you have to do the widening cast. If you are going to create the new object, again it will be having the new object, new context, everything, new attribute, everything, means you will not be able to reuse the same properties, same value. Different
Okay.
value will be allocated,
Those specific attributes which were created.
right? Value will be changed, right? Because whenever you are going to create the new object, the new memory allocation will happen, right?
Okay. Okay.
And we want to use the same object here, what we have created here, same object I want to
Mhm.
use. So
Okay.
for
Okay.
that purpose, basically.
This
Got
object
it.
itself is getting returned to the factory call, right? So
Hmm.
can't we just directly go and call the method? So because anyways we have the reference of the particular
But
object.
Yes,
we,
yes, that will be the same, right?
but this is the interface we are getting back, right? You can see that interface. I'm
Okay.
assigning this object to the interface. The question is how you will get back. If you have the complete, you remember I have given the 3 parameters, right?
Hmm.
Earlier. If that parameter is there, if you want to write that much big long parameter, then that is fine. Then no
Okay.
need of this narrow casting and all these things. Directly you would have done as I have done earlier. But
Okay.
Maybe,
hmm,
Pankaj, it would be easier for the team to grasp if you show a standard factory method and how they do it.
okay. So see, for example, if you go and check some of the factory methods, cl salvi underscore, right? Table one factory method you might have used also many a time. Here, if you just go and search a factory, so this is a factory and go to the parameters. So one is the list display, R container, container name. So these are the 3 import parameters based upon which you are going to instantiate the object and getting back, right? So this is for the purpose of displaying the ALV. And if you go to the method over here, double click and see, you'll have to study this method, but basically what it is going to do. So if you want to get the list, it is going to get it over here. If you want to get the grid, so based upon what you are asking from there, right? It is creating the, and here you can see that create the object, exporting. Come over here, r salvi table. Here also we can go to the source code and right. So yeah, this is one good example of this factory, right? And now you can have many other factory method, where so factory method where you can have the object. So here you see that r underscore salvi table type ref to cl underscore salvi table. Here it directly getting the reference of cl underscore salvi table, right? This is the this is what. So if you can put the r underscore salary table uh, and use the where used, okay, then it will show you wherever it is getting assigned. Now, so just I have clicked on the where you. Let's wait for a moment. Taking some time. So here r underscore salary table it's creating, and so in factory this is I display object. Come over here. I think it got something else. What I'm trying to tell this one r underscore salary table, right? So it's here assigning the, here you can see that this is the difference over here. It's assigning, right? Again here it's this assigning the difference of this interface over here, and based upon your requirement it's creating the object and passing. So same thing, but the code line is little different, right? But the concept remains same. It's first deciding what kind of object it has to create, and then it's just creating the object by passing this I underscore display list. You can see that I display list. So depends what you are supplying and how you are doing. Based upon it's deciding the display object list, and that display object list we are passing it over here. And once you will call this, it will call your constructor method, and there it will initiate the object and it will give us back. So this is what basically it is doing. So similarly you can see many other class where the factory method is there, but the concept remains same. Okay, the essence remains same. Factory method will produce the object and give you the object, right? So if you create one program, let's not go into that again, it will take time. Okay, I will show you in the coming classes how using the cl salary table using the factory method. It's just 2 or 3 lines of code you have to write, and it will produce nice object, and through that object you will be able to display the data, right? Have you used, any one of you have used cl salary table in your class, in your program, that their factory method in order to display the LV? How simple that is, right? So just go and create using the CL Salvi factory method that is based upon the factory design pattern only. Okay, wherever you see the factory, that is mostly that is going to produce the object based upon the factory design pattern only. So here you can see that here they are not using the interface, but here you can see that the class they are using, right? So this class would have been inherited to the multiple different another classes. So this is kind of super class. Interface in our case was behaving like what, like a super class it was behaving, right? And in our case interface was there in the multiple different subclasses. In this case cl salvi table will be there in the cl salvi column table, cl salvi columns table, different another subclasses it will be inherited. Fine. So let's go quickly and show you, I will show you the event, so once you will start using, you will be efficient, don't worry. Focus on the concept and start utilizing this one. Let me quickly show you about the event. And event is also again a wonderful concept in this object oriented programming. Everywhere you can see this event. When you double click, or let's suppose in ALV IDA, if you know about the ALV IDA on YouTube, I have created one video for ALV IDA. You can just search Pankaj ALV IDA and you will go through that, and lot of usage of the events is there. I will show you some example of the events. So let's focus on the concept. I will write it definition over here for the events. So see, events is a mechanism. Events is a mechanism through which you can call the method of another class without calling them, without instantiating and calling them. It will automatically call the method of another class without instantiating and calling them. Method of another class or same class. Okay, so I will first show you in the same class how I'm going to do. So ZCL OO ABAP demo class number 9 event 9 and event demo. In local class also I will show you. First let me show you in the global class and then I will show you in the local class. Just save it, save it, save it. And here let's suppose I want to display a message when any event occurred. For example, I'm trying to display a purchase order, but if that purchase order is not found, so here display PO, right? And this is the instance public. What I'm trying to do that in this method, there will be one parameter, okay, for getting the PO. So IAM underscore PO and type will be importing parameter and then EBELN. You know that EBELN, right? EBELN is for purchasing document number, right? Character 10. So just go back and go to the source code and here. First I will check if IAM underscore PO is not initial. Then what I will do, select EBELN from EKKO into @data LV underscore EBELN, where EBELN equals to what? IAM underscore PO. So if size sub RC equals to 0, then display that, right? You can display that it is present, or if it is not present, then I want to raise an event. Okay, else raise PO not found. Okay, I want to raise an event PO not found, right? So this is a event PO not found. Where you will define this event? At this moment I have not defined this event, so if you check the syntax it will give you error that not found. So this is you have to write like this: raise event PO not found, right? If you check the syntax it will tell this event is not present, right? So we have to define this event first. The event I am defining in the same class currently. You can define in another class also, that is also, uh, yeah, right, select single, we'll put it over here, right? This event we have to define. So let's go and define this one. Just save it, go back and go to the events tab. Over here you can define this event PO not found, right? So event again can have of two types: instance event and a static event. So I'm defining the instant event at this moment. A static event also you will see, right? Just save it and now go to the methods, and what I will do that when PO not found, when this event will occur, so for this particular event, when this event will occur, I would like to display a message that PO is not found. Or if you want to do some different treatment, we can do the different treatment also, depends on you. So display a message, simple message, error message, or whatever you want, you can do display message. This method is called the event handler method. Why? because when this particular PO not found is triggered, it's going to trigger this particular method. So what basically I'm trying to tell you that, see here, I have already put it. And let's suppose here in this example, display PO. Okay, so display PO. When I'm trying to display a PO, if PO is not found, I'm raising the no PO found event. Okay, and this, when you are raising the no PO found event, then there should be a method linked with this particular event which should be triggered. So this method and this event is linked with each other. So the method which is linked with the event, that is known as the event handler method. So this is an event, and this event is going to be handled with the help of this particular method. So this will be your event handler method. Is it clear? This is your event handler method. Event handler method, the method which is going to get triggered after after raising the event. Okay, so this is your event handler method. Now come here. In this display underscore message, you can write that PO not found, something like that, or you can write many other code also, depends on your requirement to requirement. PO not found. Okay, and let's give the message PO not found, type I, and pretty pin to check the syntax, activate this one, activate this. Some error is there, I will correct that. Just save it, go back over here and check this syntax now. There is no problem. Activate this, got activated. I have to link this particular method up with the events which I have created over here. How to do? So what you have to do, you have to put the cursor on this and click on this go to property. Okay, and here you have the option event handler for, give this class name, and here select the event. So PO not found event. So I'm linking this method with the class event. So now this is your event handler method. You can see that event handler. Okay, now it is your event handler after linking. Just save it, and inside the PO already I have written the code. Check the syntax, activate this. Now you'll have to go into the now you will have to go into the SE38, and there you will have to write the code. So here event demo, create this event demo, executable program, save it. So once you understood the concept, you will be able to understand, like in ALV also we are going to use the event. In ALV IDA, you just check, it's there on the YouTube. I have put it over there. Okay, ALV IDA, you can search Pankaj ALV IDA. Go through that video. You will be having a lot of concepts clear. So here, what I want to do that, let's create the object of this particular, Prabhakar is telling we can link the method with the event of another. Yes, we can do that. First, let me show over here, and then I will show you that if time permits. Otherwise, I will show you tomorrow. Okay, don't worry. So here, methods. This is the class. So I'll have to create one object, right? So create one object, data geo underscore event. So one object I'm creating, simple. Okay, a new full stop and geo underscore event, and here display PO we are having, right? And the PO value will be passing through the parameters, right? P underscore PO type EBELN, and here you can pass the P underscore PO. So if that value is present, that is fine. If it is not present, so if it is present, maybe we can write some piece of code over here to display. So cl underscore demo, one very good utility class SAP has given, cl demo output, just display and display the data. LV underscore EBELN, and the name display PO. Check the syntax, activate this one, activate this, just go back, activate this one, right? Now come here. So we are passing this one, activate this, run this one, and give some PO over here, which is present. So just selecting this PO, and if you run this, you can see that it's displaying the output. But let's suppose some PO which is not present. I'm giving some dummy value. If I am running this one, nothing is happening. What it should happen? Tell me what it should happen. I will put the breakpoint and press F8, give that dummy value. It should actually, when it is going to the else, it should raise the event. And when it will be raising the event, raising the event means what? It should trigger that method which is linked with this. Which method is linked with this? Display message method is linked. But why it is not getting called? Any guesses? Any expert who already has used this event, right? You can just write here if you know. See, you have to register the event first. Okay, you have to register the event first, then only it is going to, yes, very good. Set handler. Thank you. Set handler. What is the handler method? What I have created the handler method? Geo underscore event display message, right? So set handler, why it's not coming? Geo underscore event, this is, let's go and check it. Display underscore message instance, it's a private, that's why it is not coming. You will have to mark it as a public. Okay, so just save it, check it, activate this one, activate. And now if you give the control space, now it will come. That now also not coming, not a problem. Just copy from here and give it. So for which, for this instance, right? So what basically I'm doing, I'm setting this handler method for this particular instance, so that when event will be raised, automatically that display message will be triggered. So activate this one, activate. And this time, what's your expectation? This time it should trigger or not, that message, right? It should be triggered this time, right? Press F5 and you will see that this time it's going to reach. And because I have already registered that method with this event, it will go and display that message. Okay, so get parameter, why it's going somewhere else? Press F8. Why it's not triggering? It should trigger, right? Set handler for geo underscore message. Something is going wrong. Okay, sorry, this handling should be before, right? This handling should be means this registration should be before, then only it will trigger, right? So registration should be before calling, then only it will trigger. How it will trigger later? Means if you register later, it will not trigger, right? Before that you will have to register. So press F8 and press F8, come over here, and this time it will trigger your display message. So set handler I'm doing here, and now go here, go here, go here, go here, and this time just observe, it will go directly to the display message. See, it's coming, right? PO not found. So PO not found. So this is a simple example, and this we will be deep diving tomorrow, because this is again a very important concept and very in-depth concept. So this is just an instance event. It was, you'll be looking into the static event, and if you have to register the multiple uh, mm, um, event handler method with a single event, that is also possible, you know. So there are many more things yet to come in the event we are going to see tomorrow. Okay, Ranga is telling, can we use like this in the real-time scenario? Yes, why not? You cannot. We are learning to use in the real-time scenario only, right? This concept we are learning to use in the real-time scenario only. Let's suppose if your material is not found, you can write it over there, rage, no material, you know, and whatever the method you have linked with that, you will be able to trigger that message, or it can be a different kind of, let's suppose, I will show you one real-time example. Okay, here you want to create a material, let's suppose. So if everything goes fine, you raise create material event. Okay, raise a create material event, and with this create material event you can link a method called again create material. So with the same name you can have event also, and you can have the method also, right? And in this method you can write the code to create material, right? So it depends how you want to use. So generally event will give you the feeling like a real-time world. Okay, that's the only thing. And there are some advantages also. Once you will understand the concept, you will realize the uh, in an event you will be having only the export parameter. Okay, in event you will be having only the import parameter. You will not be having any other parameter like you know, export or exception or anything like that. You will not be having, only you will be having the import parameter in the event. So exception concept is not over here in the event. Okay, yeah, very useful in CRM system. The navigation is all through. Yes, in WebDin Pro, in CRM, in ALV also we are going to see. So these are the different pointers where you can go and use the events. Okay, so this is what with this I'm done for the today's class. You can speak if you want, or if you have any question you can query.
Pankaj, one question. We have
Mhm.
time.
Yes,
So can you go to that factory report which you created earlier?
report na. Okay, just a second, I'm going back. Yes, yeah.
So at line 27, we are already doing this widening casting, right? At line 27.
Right.
So,
Yes.
I mean, at line 29, why are you still calling the method dynamically? Can't we call the method directly using the instance geo underscore FERT at line 29?
Yes. Uh, Here, because this is the, your question is, can't we use directly? Yes, we can use directly also. Let's go and see this FERT. This is having, yes, we can use this geo FERT, but geo FERT value here we are getting in that context. Let's see. I think we can use. Let's go here and give this method control V. Check the syntax. Yeah, there is no error, right? We can use, no problem. From the interface reference if we want to use, so here uh, this is this, and this is what we have, the generic object. Yeah, so through which if we want to use, from the interface reference if we want to use, you know, So basically I'm supposed to tell this one. Okay, geo generic object, and those reference if you want to use directly, then here also we can use in this way. Okay, so already interface we are having over there, right? We got the narrow casted, and narrow casting we are doing to the wide casting over here. So this is the generic one. Here we are putting it over here, and this is like my subclass, right? This is the super class. Yeah, so fine. Yeah, directly you can use it over here, there is no problem. But with the help of interface, if we want to use it, this is how we can use. So right, with the help of interface, if we want to use, then this is the way how we can use. So right, so if we activate this one, activate this, and
Hi, sir.
so FAIT, so from the interface also we can put it over here, F5, F7, and here you can see now I'm calling from the interface. So, but here what it's telling, CXI dynamic call illegal method. Okay, just a second.
Hi, sir. Anil here. Can you hear me?
It's not able to. Are you telling to me something? Hello? If you are not
Mm,
speaking to me, please mute from your side. I've just muted. Okay. Just a second. I'm trying to understand here. Data, this type ref to CL. This is what we are doing. Geo underscore FEIT. This is generic object. Here we are. So this is the interface one. We are putting it over here. This is my sub. This is my subclass, right? If we consider with this. So this is so directly we can call. Yes, that is true, that directly we can call. There will be no any problem. Call method geo underscore FERT.
Hi, sir. Sorry for the interrupt.
Yeah,
So, in 27 lines, right? So, we are using the white casting using the interface object. So, can
right.
we, is that always the case? So we can use that white casting through interface or it is?
Just 1 second. Let me complete the
Yeah, please, please.
Sandeep analysis, and then I will come to you. Okay. So Sandeep asked that can't we directly use it? Yes, we can use it directly. There is no problem. But if we want to use from the interface, right, in that interface, that method is not there. So it is not possible over here to call even dynamically, right? So this is how we can use. So that is fine. We can use in this way also. Okay. Dynamically not required to be called. But in some scenario where let's suppose some extra method is there and you are doing the wide casting, right? And if you want to call, so here what will happen, because already interface method we are inheriting into the ZCL underscore mat underscore FEIT, right? So in this scenario, that's fine. We can call directly the method also. But if you remember the yesterday scenario, right, in which if you want to call the method of subclass from the reference of superclass dynamically, we have to call like this, right? So just I'm taking the reference of that. Yesterday is one. Here it is fine. Here there is no problem. It's working fine. There is, because the main pointer over here, dynamically what you want to do, if you want to call the method of superclass or if you want to call the method of subclass. So in this scenario, interface is not having its own implementation. So nothing to worry, right? But if you have the class and if you have the subclass, In that case, if you want to call the method of subclass from the reference of superclass, then dynamic this dynamic calling will make sense after doing the narrowcasting, right?
This
So
is useful for common method only, right? The dynamic one.
the one which we have used at this moment, this is for the common method. Yes,
Yeah.
for the common method. Okay. Anything else, Sanjeev? Santosh or Sanjeev or Venkat? Who asked this question? Can we call without any?
Sandeep. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's clear.
Sandeep. Yeah, Sandeep. So is it clear? We can
Yeah,
call
yes.
directly also. We should understand the concept. What is the concept? We can call directly also. There is no problem because that method is present in that particular object. In that definition, it is present. So nothing to worry.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Okay, this is Venkat.
Yeah, Venkat. Yes.
I have a question on top of Sandeep.
Mm-hmm.
If GCL underscore MA default has a constructor, when we do the wide casting, will that constructor gets executed when you do the wide casting?
No, it will not get executed. Constructor gets only executed when you are creating the object.
So not in case of when we pass the reference to
No,
the...
no, no, no.
Okay.
When you are going to create the object of that particular class, then only the constructor will be called. Class constructor and constructor. There are two different types of constructor. Class constructor will be called during lifetime of a program only once, and constructor will be called every time whenever you are going to create the object of the class. In this, there will be no any kind of constructor will be called, neither class nor instance constructor. And
Okay.
when you are assigning the reference, no constructor will be called.
Okay.
Only when creating the object. You're welcome. Fine then. I think we are good to stop now, or if you have anything else.
Nothing, Pankaj. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you everyone for attending this session, and let's meet tomorrow and we will be deep diving into the events. Bye bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Prakash.
Thank you. Hello everyone.